Good evening, everyone. I am Ray and I'm your Naito fan. And welcome to the Cup of Geek podcast. And syempre, this is a test episode. This is not the first episode, but this is siguro the episode 0 ng podcast na ito. So, Cup of Geek podcast. And I'll introduce to you yung mga kasama natin dito sa podcast na ito. Uunahin ko si Sir Noah or si Sir Geeky Pinoy. Sir Geeky, saan ka namin makikita?
Hey, what's up? So, Geeky Pinoy on TikTok, siyempre Facebook, the usual, Twitter, and then yun lang naman so far. Pero again, welcome guys with in our podcast. Huwag niyo seryosohin masyado, okay? So, we're just here to have fun. And of course, again, this is a cup of geek. And hopefully, as soon as we have our, yung totoong mga episodes, pero again, thank you if you're here watching. And again, hindi pa kami Spotify exclusive, kaya ganito pa kami. And if in case maging Spotify exclusive kami, mas magulo siguro kami. Okay, so, so again, Geeky Pinoy, Noah.
Yes, thank you Noah for introducing yourself. Dito naman tayo sa, wait lang, nasa ilalim ko pala. Let's go Blake, introduce yourself and saan ka namin makikita?
Hey guys, Uncle Blake over here. You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, IG, a bit. Twitter, not so much now. I'm sorry, I don't got Twitter. Like and follow if you can. Let's go, Cup of Geek, episode 0. Let's go.
Alright, sige. So, ako nga pala, I did not tell you kung saan nyo ako makikita. You can find me on TikTok, on IG, on Twitter, but I geek about comics and comic-related stuff naman. Pero, for this podcast, we'll have for me, this is different set of topics. Although I do some in my main content naman. Pero, Geeky Pinoy, would you like to go over, ano ba talaga itong podcast na ito? Bakit natin binuo tong grupong to?
Una, hindi ito para talaga, hindi ito seryosong podcast, guys. Don't expect something that something to ponder in your life. In this podcast, this is something that you listen to on your way to the office para lang maging masaya kayo. Alright, so hindi ito yung mga words of wisdom na dadalhin nyo hanggang pagtanda nyo, okay? This is just to enjoy everything under the sun. So mostly, we'll talk about movies, series, shows. Wala din to limit. We can talk about geek stuff. We can talk about pop culture, K-drama, anything. So we're gonna talk about a lot of things. Most probably, we have a set of topics to talk about. Pero sooner or later, we'll be asking you guys, ano ba gusto nyo pag-usapan? Ano ba yung mga talagang sobrang trend ng mga movies ngayon? So again, there's no limit on what we'll be talking about. So mas masaya if we're gonna have you guys, yung community, to feed us or to inform us what do you want to hear from us or what do you want us to talk about. Especially nowadays, sobrang daming pwedeng pag-usapan. Sobrang daming pwedeng panoorin. Ewan ko lang, immortal ka lang. So, the best would be, get insights from everyone. Ano ba okay pag-usapan. So, that's the reason why we had this podcast. It's not about us. It's not about our insights or what we know about things. But, of course, we want this to be hindi naman sa parang collaborative, enjoy na community na we can share as well with you what we think about what you guys like and what you guys really watch on a daily basis. Yeah. Diba?
Nice. And we are all excited about sa mga future episodes. And yun na nga, trial run to episode 0. We're just trying the tech out. We're just trying if we can kumbaga build the chemistry from episode 0 up to how many episodes that we are planning to do. Blake, isang question for you. What are you excited about our podcast? What are you looking forward to dun sa podcast natin?
We're gonna be longer than Provinciano. Yeah, 7 years every day. Kami 8 years every week. And then, like just like chill talking about anything pop culture related, nothing too serious. I mean, we can get serious, but at the same time, at least we'll do it in a entertaining way, just like nothing too dramatic, nothing too scandalous. Maybe. Don't know.
We'll try. We'll try. For the
Okay.
kids who are watching, or for the parents who are watching, please watch your kids. All right. Sige, so
Please.
without further ado, we have a few topics that we would want to do tonight. No, so a few fun topics. It's a Sunday, by recording during this time. No, it's a Sunday, but the video will be uploaded rather. The video will be uploaded mga siguro Monday, Tuesday. Let's see kung masingit natin. But it's a Sunday and kalalabas lang ng Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Ayan, I'm sure some of you guys have already watched the movie. Some of you baka just trying to find the right time. But siguro from this podcast, I'm sure ako napanood ko na. Blake, have you watched it already kanina?
Yes, I have.
Paano
After seeing so many spoilers online. Thank you, everybody who posts videos about those scenes online. It's not like everyone hasn't seen it yet.
There you go. And then ayan, and then Noah, I think congratulations muna pala Noah for having your third kid, diba? Third kid. So
Yes.
ayan, so medyo
Actually,
tulog.
kasi sa ginagawa. Madalas sobrang tahimik namin dito sa bahay kasi we're trying not to make a single noise. Ganun siya ka-sensitive. Pero right now, I'm doing this.
Yes.
Tulog na
Tulog. Ayan. Ayan, so dahil nga syempre may bagong may bagong baby ka. Do you have time to watch the movie or mapapanood pa ba siya so that we know how to go through this discussion in the next couple of minutes?
Again, guys, I still haven't watched it, honestly. But maybe by the time that this will be uploaded, baka napanood ko na. Pero for the audience or for everyone listening to this, let's go. I can bear with all those with all those spoilers. Whatever. Go. I would like to hear the thoughts din naman
Okay.
of everybody.
Sige, if that's the case, then sige, we'll give it a little bit more spoiler free, pero we'll tackle a few spoilers. So medyo mild spoilers ang gagawin natin for tonight. Medyo mild. So, and then there's some reveals naman. Are there major reveals? Yes, there are, pero
I'd say like 3.
Mga 3, right?
3
So
maybe.
medyo we can pass on this major reveals. Okay, let's talk about the movie. Blake, what are your thoughts sa Black Panther Wakanda Forever?
Well, for starters, I think it's in my top 3 for best Phase 4 films. Like, for me personally, Shang-Chi, that's my number 1. Then you got... I'm debating if I'm going to put Black Panther or Spider-Man above one another. But I think it's really well made. I think it's better visually than the first one, especially in terms na yung CGI. Kasi diba, there was the issue that in the first film, CGI looked like a PlayStation 3 game, especially by the end, the final battle. Everyone was just like, ang pangit, ganda ng story, kaso lang yung CGI sa ending, ba't ganun? Pero like for this one, they really made sure that all the CGI and VFX was really well made. They took their time with it. Also, like, obviously we're going into this territory, but like I loved the way they handled the departure, of course, of Chadwick Boseman. That, like, there was no other way that they could have handled it better, and how they did it was the right call. And yeah, I mean, because like usually they would just like for other movies they would just like say like, oh, this character is here, or they're doing something else, or they don't mention them. But I like that they acknowledged it and they gave us a moment to mourn as well. So,
Nice.
plus the music.
Yep, the music, definitely. Ayan. Ako naman, sige, I'll have a lot to talk about kasi I left the the theater asking a lot of questions. Okay. you know my content to be more DC related, right? So, hindi naman ako
Yeah.
masyadong gumagawa ng content in Marvel. But I am a Marvel fan. I am a big fan of Spider-Man. I am a big fan of Daredevil. I read the comics a lot for these characters. So, I familiar ako sa sa Marvel, sa MCU, sa Marvel Comics. Now, let me get into my take on the movie. Number one, okay, it was really a celebration of Chadwick Boseman. That's what I really am parang appreciative of the movie, no. Sobrang it doesn't really dwell into the sadness of his passing, but more on yes, it is sad, but we should celebrate as well na of the value that he provided for the Black Panther character. Second is characters ni na to ni ni
Shuri.
Namor. Ayan. Sino
Namor.
actor nga? Si Tenoch Huerta. Yan. Hindi ka ba makalimutan? I really like his character as Namor. Sobrang intimidating. Yung scenes where he flies with yung winged feet niya. Galing. Napakaganda ng scenes na yon. Sobrang amazed ako sa pagkaka-portray ni Tenoch Huerta kay Namor. Third, meron lang akong issue, or I'm just trying to grasp how wait lang. Mild spoilers. Wait. I'm trying to grasp the transition of a character to Black Panther. Yeah, yan na lang sasabihin ko. I'm trying to grasp the transition. Kasi 'di ba parang in the previous movie, you can gain the throne and the Black Panther mantle by doing it in a fight, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ito parang okay, bakit walang ganun? Or is it, I don't know, Blake. But ikaw, what are your how did you feel about the transition?
I mean, for me, considering what all that's happening, like, you know, we have, like, with the events of the film, like, you know, they're in war, and then, of course, all these other things are happening. So, parang, it's like a do or die scenario that they have to let this thing happen one way or another, because it's a very dire situation. Like, you know what? Let's just forget tradition for just like 5 minutes, and like, okay, they're Black Panther. All right, so, it's like we'll just worry about it in the sequel.
Okay. Pero sige, I'm trying to convince myself that it was worth it. Kasi 'di ba, the transition was okay, you now know, or you've already experienced the loss of the Black Panther. And then nothing, parang the character did not decide on having or taking on the mantle yet. And then something happened, probably the turnaround event, why that person decided. I'm trying not to use he or she in my sentences. Ayan. So yung turn around na yon, that event actually was the critical event. And so sige, given that event, was it needed for the story to move forward? Si Blake at tatanungin ko dyan.
I'm using my film school brain. I mean, okay, how can I say this without spoilers? It's like Noah. So, oh wait, I'm sorry. I gotta do spoilers for this one. I'm sorry. Okay, but like, I'm all about like the symmetry and poetry of events happening at the same time. But to have a scene that happened like in the first Black Panther appearance with the same archetype character, which is the parent, by a window thrown by, the main antagonist of the film. I'm just like, are you guys copying from your movies? Like, hire, where are your writers? Like, I mean, like, I'm honestly, for me, I feel that it was an unnecessary moment for the character to. There could have been a lot of other ways that the character could have been motivated to become the Black Panther without having to do that again
Yep.
for the second time in almost the exact same way, but this time with the element of water. And it's just like, I don't know. I think for me, that would probably be my biggest issue with the film. I mean, it's not a really big issue, but it's just like, it could have been avoided. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a contract dispute, but I would say that the performance in the scenes, like, that was pretty good. Like, I'll give props to that.
Yeah.
Like, pretty good performance. I was like, I wanted to cry too, so I was like, okay, fine. I don't like the scene, but I like the performance. Good for you. Here's your Oscar.
Oh, she's gonna. I think she's gonna get a nomination for that one. And wait, Angela Bassett, tama ba? Tama ba?
Yeah. Actually, like, when. Oh, who's first?
No, go ahead.
Sorry. Whenever like people would say, like, this MCU performance deserves an Oscar, and then sometimes it's like a bit too much. Like, really? Come on, guys, that doesn't deserve an Oscar. Angela Bassett in this movie, not gonna lie, hands down, that one really deserves the Oscar. The rest, akong pake dyan. Angela,
Yeah.
get that nomination.
Get that nomination, get that win, diba? As ano,
Get the
probably a nomination niya for supporting actress, right? Yung potentially nomination.
probably.
Okay, sige. I have one question for Noah. Okay. The series, or the movie rather, is based on, or loosely based on, the comic Doom War. If you're familiar with Doom War. Sa Doom War kasi, it's not between the Wakandans and the Talokans, but it's more between the Wakandans and the people from Latvians, right? So may similarity sila, the change of the yung mga the sino yung mga warrior women?
A few moments later. A few minutes later.
Mela.
The kaya niyan. But when they turned into the Midnight Angels, diba? When they turned to Midnight Angels, basically based sila talaga sa Doom War na comics. What I'm thinking was, yung movie was originally written to be like Doom War, except that you're gonna get Namor as the antagonist, diba? And so when the death of Chadwick Boseman happened and they had to rewrite the script, it felt to me like masyadong maraming nangyari dahil they had to add that in. If it was purely getting it based on the Doom War story arc sa comics, not sure if it could have been better, or probably they could have avoided some of the scenes na they had to put in because it was actually a celebration of Chadwick Boseman. Your thoughts, Noah?
Sa akin kasi, I would understand there were maraming segment talaga na makikita mo na alam mong kailangan nila ilagay because of this unforeseen circumstance. Kumbaga, Wakanda Forever was already in production before the tragedy happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, kailangan nilang, hindi naman talaga to dapat parang tribute to Chadwick. Talagang Wakanda Forever to. Or diba? It should really be a sequel, not really a tribute. But things happen. Things like this na talagang unforeseen nga eh, diba? So, I haven't read the comics, but I had bit under a bit idea of yun talaga yun eh, yung kay Doctor Doom talaga. So I think so kung pwede natin ma-flash for the audience so people would know what we're talking about. So siguro yung mga unnecessary or necessary scenes, it would depend on the people who had a bit siguro advantage if you have an idea of the comics or yung yung trinay nilang kunin na reference, it will be a bit exciting for others. Talagang mako-compare nila, uy, ito yun, ito dapat yun, ito lang. Talagang pinalitan lang, kailangan. Eh. Diba? But again, hearing your stories, again, for those who are listening, patawarin niyo ako, hindi ko pa napanood. Again, ganun kababait yung kasama dito sa podcast. Trying their best for my sake para pero yun. Kumbaga, this is something na ano eh, yun nga, that's why siguro naging dramatic din siya for people or actors to get an Oscar. Plus na yun, actually, if ever that would happen. Because the emotions that you guys saw, or even I haven't seen it, but I'm anticipating the emotions in the teasers are pure. Something authentic. It's not just for the movies, but it's really for the actor and for the character he portrayed. Kasi this is the first time actually wala yata akong napanood na movie na the character really died or the person really died in real life where his character will be left behind. It's really it's not just something dramatic or emotional for the production, but also for the audience who really love Black Panther. Hindi natin, di ba? Black Panther is one of the best MCU films, period. And Wakanda Forever made, alam niyo naman, di ba, yung second movie lagi ng mga sequel, usually those sequels struggle. Sabihin natin yung Thor 2, struggle. Even Spider-Man, the sequel, it's not near the first or the third movie. It really suffers. But because of this one, syempre hindi naman, it's not for it being successful, but things happen. And I, I, I'm really looking forward to it, even though I've seen a lot of spoilers online, which I can't, alam niyo yan, alam niyo yan. Salamat sa mga nag-spoil, ha? Joke. So, yun lang. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still excited to see it. Kasi it's not just watching the movie. It's really, what we had for a long and now it's really hard to imagine. And you would like to see how the production did it without air.
Yeah. Meron akong follow-up question doon. No? So, sabi mo, Noah, that the sequels normally struggle after the first main movie, no? And laging ganun. We saw Wonder Woman 84 fail. Ano pa ba? Ang dami. So, question, Blake. Throw this question at you. How did Wakanda Forever fare versus the first movie? Was it better or did it beat expectations in terms of how the first movie delivered? Mahirap na tanong ba?
I would say both stories, both films, they have the same themes of different approaches to colonialism and outside threats to their kingdoms and whatnot. And both films, the way they handle them, they're pretty good in their own right. But honestly, I would say that I liked the story of Wakanda Forever more. Because I don't know. there's more of a threat that I got. There's higher stakes to, let's say, Wakanda, because like in the first one, I was expecting that um, there would be more impact of like Wakanda being revealed to the outside world, but we only ever really felt that come by the end of it. For this one, it really showed the threat in its home, and especially with how the structure of the drama unfolds, it's more of a it's more focused on story than it is on spectacle
Hmm.
in a way compared to the first one. I mean, the first one still had a good story. It's just that whatever maybe short sight failings or shortcomings of the first one, they polished it more for the second one. Even though, like, it's not perfect, but it's still pretty good. And I think it's pretty better than the first.
Nice. And yung sabi mo nga na there's more the threat is really there. I think for ito sobrang minor na spoiler na to. When the Talokans started to in, invade, but how do you call it, invasion? The Talokans started attacking the city, 'di ba? Na parang wow, they're a really strong country to be faced with no ng Wakanda. So parang, and the Wakandans really had to evacuate everyone kasi it's really dangerous for everyone. So parang okay, this is a parang kumbaga pag sinabi mo US and China, this is them. This is Wakanda and the
Yeah.
Talokans, diba? So yeah, that's what I really like dun sa the film. It really gave much weight on the threat that the Talokans have, the Talokans have in terms of power, and then anong kailangan gawin ng mga Wakandans versus the Talokans. So yeah, so I guess yep, the Black Panther movie is there, still showing on cinemas, and Noah, panoorin mo na as soon as possible. You will not regret it. I enjoyed the film. Although there are some things that I wanted to talk to you about, no, and I really medyo clear na rin sa akin right now, and na habang napaprocess natin rin yung film, it's get giving me a little bit more appreciation doon sa overall film, and that's what we really want to do rin dito sa podcast na to. So yeah, Wakanda Forever is still out in cinemas. So if sa mga nanonood sa atin right now, if you have not watched it, panoorin niya. Kung napanood niyo naman, please make sure to comment down below. I-post ko to sa YouTube. So please make sure to comment yung mga thoughts nyo. Please make sure to tell us ano yung experience niya dun sa movie. Ayan. So,
And be mindful of spoilers.
yeah, be mindful of spoilers. Normally, I do sa mga previous na ginagawa kong discussions, I do a 1 week no spoiler, para no spoiler week muna, 1 week yan. And then, the next, probably the weekend after, pwede na mag-spoil, bahala na. Kasi I'm sure everyone that really wanted to watch the movie have already watched it. Ayan. So, before we go to the second topic, ayan, sorry Noah, di namin narinig, paulit.
Kasalanan nyo na. Wait.
Okay, sige. So before we go into the next topic, we'll take the short break. Syempre, dahil test run natin to. I'm gonna just check on some of the tech stuff lang. So we're gonna have a short break. We're gonna have a short break, and we'll be back right after a few moments.